and tell you how it happened. Good morning, everyone. How are you today? It's me, Shane Lee. I'm going to go over my 40 to 30 foot fall from the barracks I was staying in and how it all happened, and tell you in detail again. Now, the date was September 15th, 1994. I had moved them back to base because my ex-wife left me stranded in Tennessee when we went to go pick up her daughter, and I had to move back to base because I feared for my life and wasn't sure what was going on there, right? Well, the purpose of me and my wife getting married was her mother said she couldn't even bring the daughter down unless she had a husband. Well, somehow Daphne still convinced her mother to let her take Amanda down there with her, right? And she did anyway. Now, first she stayed with her dad, Sal, or Salvador. This is Eddie, as in El Salvador. And anyway, then for about 4 days until I could get back to base, she lived with me and Daphne, and her mom slept in the bedroom while I took the couch until I could get back to base. And I've been sleeping on it since Sunday when she got back. Anyway, Daphne herself. I didn't even go back into the bedroom, right? When she got back, right? I just slept on the couch, right? For the remainder of the time. Now, because it's a military barracks, you have to tell the chief why you need to move back. So I told him the reason why is I and my wife got into a fight on the way to pick up her daughter in Arkansas, and she left me stranded in Tennessee, right? In discussion, he was working on getting me a room. He said it might take 5 days to a week. And I was either back on base by Saturday or Monday, somewhere in there. And that's all I remember for sure about that incident, right? Anything else told you I'm making up because you're messing with me that because I lived with the child and she was sleeping with her mom, something could happen. It didn't happen, right? And anyway, the thing is, when you're in a situation that I was in anyway, you have a lot of amnesia. So, but I do remember our sleeping arrangements after we all got back from her trip to Arkansas and my trip to Tennessee. What happened? And so anyway, when I was on base, I was on there for about 3 weeks after, and that's when I fell. Now, the day I fell, I got off from work at the usual time around 4:30 p.m. or 1630 military time, somewhere in there. And I was going to go out to a buffet, and in the military, you get paid on the 1st and the 15th, right? So anyway, I got my money, and I got $250 out of the account, and I was going to go to this local buffet to see if I could hook up with a girl who I noticed working there, and she was mulatto, and she was an adult girl, so I was going to try and hit on her and go out there with $250 and maybe get a hotel room with her or something. I don't know. I was just going to try. Well, our bathroom or restroom or head is down the hall, right? Now, in order to get there, you have to either go in a towel or wear your dungarees, right? So I just went in my dungarees to get cleaned up real quick and brought my travel bag and a towel, right? And a wash rag and a wash rag. So anyway, I left my room with the $250 in the room on the table and the key in the back, right? Right. Not saying I couldn't left the key on the table, but if it was, what would also be there in the morning? The $250. And like I said, that's why I was trying to get back into the room, because I wasn't sure if the key was in the room or if someone stole it from the travel bag, right? One of those two things could have happened, right? Also because only had on a pair of pants or dungarees and no shirt, right? So again, that's why I was anxious to get into the room. So the first thing I did was I went down to what's called the master at arms, or the guy on watch. And I asked him if they had a master key in case someone got locked out of the room, because when I was going to get cleaned up, I got locked out of the room, right? And I asked him, he said no, and I asked him, is there like a maintenance man or someone I can talk to try and get into the room, or security or other barracks I can go to, right? So I started doing all that, right? And it took me maybe about 20 minutes to do all that after I got off work, and maybe about total time about an hour. And anyway, after all that, I decided to get a pair of screwdrivers. Went to security in different places to see if there was a way I could get them into the room. They weren't helping me, so I just kept doing what I needed to do correct as best as I could, right? Until I got a pair of screwdrivers, and that didn't work right. Couldn't break into the door either. I tried my driver's license or credit card, things like that, right? Nothing seemed to work, right? So anyway, then I decided, well, the only other option is to try the roof. Now, since I was into the martial arts, I could do a full revolution on a swing or a bar, right? Like in gymnastics, right? And since I could do all that, I could get up on the roof and things of that nature, and was able to do so even though there's not a direct access to the roof. Right? So I swung up on the roof using also a ninja technique that I learned through a book by Stephen K. Hayes, right? Which I bought when I was living with my mom, right? When we moved to Harley Drive in Garden City, right? So anyway, when I was younger, I would also walk a tightrope between two trees, so I figured, I could land on the ledge safely and see if the window would open. If it wasn't open, I'd just swing back up the same way and, go down the same way on the more safer stairs. That's what I was thinking, right? And anyway, that's what I was going to do, right? So I did all that to the point of blacking out when I let go of the ledge, right? And then I woke up in the ER. That's all I know for sure, right? Now, when I woke up in the ER, they told me I would be bedridden. They told me I was still in pain in my sacrum and left ankle and things like that, right? And I felt it. And things of that nature. Now, for about 2 weeks, I just sort of laid there and they had me on Tylenol with codeine to cope with the pain, right? And on a liquid diet as well, because my small intestines had died in the fall and things like that, right? Well, they also tried me on solid food after 2 weeks. That's when it sort of got dicey, because when the food went down into my stomach, it didn't go no further, and it backed up in my stomach, and it couldn't go down, right? The small intestines had to stop, right? Now that means the large intestines might have been working, but the small intestines, according to what the doctors told me as they were examining me after they fed me, they said my small intestines had died in the fall, right? Now, in order to get the food out, because it couldn't go anywhere, it was in a dead small intestines. So then I prayed they had to put a tube down my throat to pump all the food out, right? That had backed up in my small intestines. Because of my small intestines. So anyway, they left the tube in. I mean, they didn't take it out. To try and feed me some more. They just sort of left it in, right? I don't know why, but anyway, sort of irritated me a little bit too, right? So as I'm laying there, I just said, well, I need to pray to Jesus to ask him to heal me of this situation. And that's what I did. I just prayed to Jesus, asked him to heal me, and help me to eat the food, right? So as I'm laying there, I get the feeling to just take the tube out my throat and mouth. So I did, right? And then, I'll wait until they want to feed me again, of course. And then when they start feeding me again, within the next day or the following day, I'm not sure, within 24 to 48 hours or so, maybe 36, somewhere in there, they try to feed me, if not the following day, then the day after, right? Again, keeping me on the liquid diet for another day, right? But when they try to feed me again, I sit up more when I eat, right? And I also eat, and try to move around a little bit more in bed, right? When I'm eating the food, and try and wiggle a little bit more. Well, somehow the small intestines, though dead, started up again, right? And I was able to digest the food, and then I needed a bedpan, and I started going to the bathroom too. So after that, I just got better and better, and I went from dead small intestines to being able to eat the food to being able to go to the bathroom, and then from there I had to raise up out of bed, right, off the bed, right, to go to the bathroom, right. So from there I was able to get out of the bed and transfer to the chair, right. And then from the chair I went to the wheelchair, and from the wheelchair I went to the walker, and from the walker I went to crutches. Now this is because even though I was in there for 2 weeks, nothing had really interfered or anything, and I was feeling pain in my lower back from the bottom of the tailbone to the top of the sacrum, which is about in the center of the spine, which is about 4 to 5 inches, somewhere in there. 3 to 4, 4 to 5, somewhere in there, right? Now I was feeling pain along the whole lower back to the bottom of my tailbone, right? And also in the ankle, right? But I steadily improved, and they sent me home with the cast on about a month later, right? Now, the bones in a break usually take 4 weeks to heal. Now, I was out of bed after 2 weeks. Between 2 to 3 weeks. That means the bones weren't even fully healed. I just started moving around, right? Now, you've heard of the fictional character, the Wolverine, right? How he can heal instantly. Well, I'm still not healed, right? In other words, I have a fracture in my sacrum that would normally paralyze someone because it's pushed about 3/4 of an inch to the right, right? And also, it's got now sort of a reverse 7 shape to it, right? Sort of like a monkey bone instead of a human bone, right? Tailbone, right? Mine's more up and out and swings down, right? Well, before I fell, it was normal and there was no injury there, and I had no pain or no side effects, right? From any injury, right? Even though I was in a car accident, reportedly at 16 on August 24th, 1986. Now that accident, I was only in the hospital less than 2 days, right? The total time was 41 hours and 50 minutes, right? And then the accident happened Saturday around, between 5:30 and 6:30, or 17:30 and 18:30 hours. Because by 18:30 I was at the hospital. And that's all I know for sure, right? About that one, right? Now, only sign of it, I was in a car accident, was I had a few scars in my hand, which you can see still right there. From the glass, maybe, when my hand went up to prevent the windshield from falling on me. And then I also had a shaved eyebrow and some glass in one of my cheeks.
I think you can still see it. Maybe not. Somewhere around here. Around this side.
Oh, maybe the scar healed.
There used to be on there.
So hard to tell sometimes. There's a scar between a pimple too. I used to get those a lot when I was in high school. So that's the whole point, right? So anyway, within 3 months after the fall, I was walking normally. I went home on convalescent leave, and I was even able to have sex with 3 different women who approached me for sex. A girl at the McDonald's, a girl on 37th Street, and a girl at the Victory Drive Cinema. In Savannah, in Garden City. So anyway, I was also able to function sexually too after the fall. So anyway, now I'm also O positive. Now I heard of a man who had sex with his wife and she had HIV, but he didn't get it. And I figured that's because his blood type was different than hers. Now, sometimes that can help you not to get HIV or things of that nature, or STDs or things like that too, to a point, right? Now, we all know the old gonorrhea and syphilis thing, but I was tested on my ship for all that and never had it. Or if it was in non-specific urethritis, right? That's what they called it, right? And they treated me for it, so I don't have any STDs, right? Either. So anyway, I just wanted to tell you about the fall, and I've been showing you my x-rays through the years. So they want to take all that down and lie about it, right? Well, I don't have a choice. I survived it, right? And all I know is I prayed to Jesus when I was in the hospital bed, and I got out of bed, right? Believe what you want, right? But have a nice day. Bye-bye.